Hi, I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk a little bit about the Rent the Runway case. Um, this is my take two because the first time I recorded this, my microphone was muted. So here's hoping I can do it again. Um, so for one of the questions in the what we need to know about the situation, it asked us to make a timeline of the events. And if I went through every event, it would definitely take longer than 5 minutes. So I'm going to summarize what I thought was important. In November 2008, Hyman came up with the idea for Rent the Runway, and she shared it with her friend and um, who they started the business together. In December 2008, they had a meeting with Diane von um, Furstenberger. I probably killed that name. Sorry. She was an influential fashion designer. In February and March of 2009, they met with 20 designers. They only received a warm welcome at that time. People weren't too interested at first, and then they started actually listening to what they thought on the project, and that helped warm them up a little bit. And then in April of 2009, they held 2 market trials at different colleges, and this allowed them to see um, how the process worked. If people actually were interested in renting them, it allowed them to see how long it took for them to return the dresses. It allowed them to see how reliable the USPS was in returning the dresses. So it was a good, just get their feet wet, see how it works kind of thing. And then in September 2009, they did a third trial run to see if people would rent from the website. Now, that one wasn't as successful, but they still went ahead with it. On November 2nd, 2009, they opened the beta testing, which was only for 5,000 members. And then on November 9th, 2009, they went ahead and launched the website. They had 30,000 names, 800 dresses in 160 styles, and that all those dresses came from 30 different designers. They had a very successful launch, so they ran out of their seed money a little faster than they thought they would, and they now face the decision of whether they need to raise capital so that they can buy more dresses, or if they should save the little bit they have left and work on improving the warehouse in that area. In this timeline, I agreed with most of their actions. I felt like they really were doing things in the correct order. There were a few things I would have done differently. The first was with the website. I think I would have got somebody local to design it so that I could work a little more closely with them so that I could follow up and say, hey, is this going to be ready? Or, hey, this change needs made, which it's just it's harder when you're further away. So I would try to make that closer. The other thing I would have changed is I think I would have used the beta group for longer than a week period. In some of the assignment we did, we figured out the calculations, and in it is said to assume that it took 8 days from the time somebody um, since from the time the dress was rented to the time that they got it back in their warehouse. So I think I would have at least ran the beta testing for 2 weeks, if not a month. I think this would have given them a chance to work out some of the kinks in the warehouse before they launched it to the 30,000 members originally. And then it asked us to calculate how many times a dress needed to be rented out to break even. And I came up, it was like 7 point something. So I rounded up to 8 since you can't rent a dress just a fraction of the time. But according to their early performance, I did some predictions from that, and I figured that each dress could be rented 27 times in a year. And if it was rented 27 times in a year, the annual profit would be $1,141 per dress. Which I think is really great for them. I guess that's it for now. I don't want to go over my 5 minutes, but I wanted to share that. Have a good night.